Rivers State House of Assembly, led by Martin Amaewhule, has handed a 7-day ultimatum to Governor Siminialayi Fubara to represent the 2024 budget to the House. The faction of the State Assembly loyal to the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Chief Nyesom Wike, took the stand as it resumed its sitting in Port Harcourt on Monday. A court of appeal in Abuja had, in a judgment last week, nullified the order of Rivers State High Court, which stopped Amaewhule and 24 other legislators from parading themselves as lawmakers and sitting as legislators. Recall that Fubara had presented an appropriation bill of about 800 billion naira for the 2024 fiscal year to the House loyal to him, then led by Edison Ehe as Speaker, before his resignation to be appointed as Chief of Staff to the Governor. Ehe and others loyal to Fubara had deliberated on the bill, passed the budget, and was subsequently signed into law by the Governor. However, on Monday, Amaewhule, who presided over the plenary, issued the ultimatum following a resolution of the House during Monday's plenary. Let me start with you, Dr. Emmanuel. What is your immediate reaction to this development?
Still funny. And I keep saying it's funny because people are merely seeking for relevance. It's a pity that we have a country where judgments are supposedly purchased in the night and announced in the morning, and for whatever reasons there they are. Very funny as they were. It's also a pity that we have a society that has cause to misinterpret even some of those funny judgments when they come the way it suits them, and that's people for you. Amaewhule and his brothers know very well that they are drowning, and they will drown in the long run, and there's no truth about it. And I keep saying this. See, God has a way of telling people how foolish they are without them knowing that they are fools. What is happening in Rivers State is something that ordinarily shouldn't have even happened in the first instance. You had power and you got intoxicated. You thought you've reached heaven. And so in the exercise of that power, you run amok, as it were. And you think that you could just turn back and become who you were before. You can never get to where you were before. Get to heaven and come back. A judgment was issued last Monday. What the judgment is actually talking about is actually an issue of jurisdiction. I'm aware that the other group had others actually gone on appeal of that same judgment. Because for me, that judgment is very funny. The issue of the Federal High Court having exclusive jurisdiction is an issue that has not, and that's one of the biggest problems we have in this country, where laws are made with an intendment perhaps to remove an existing law and not doing the needful, as it were. Assembly matters hitherto were rights of state high courts, and only but not too long was the federal high courts brought into it. But the part where it said that the federal state high courts had the right has not been expunged. It is my strong opinion that the appeal court erred. But be that as it may, it is right to give a judgment she wants. The gentlemen have two options. What that judgment has just done doesn't give anybody victory in the real sense of the word. One is that it gave opportunity for the others to go on appeal. Two, the fact that they can actually still go back to a federal high court. Two clean positions were clear. So rushing to wanting to, well, after a judgment, I also expect that people who claim that they won a case will show some level of, we've arrived. And that's what that 7-day ultimatum is. Rivers people are waiting for them after the 7 days. And I'm sure the government too is waiting for them. Rivers people know who their legislators are as of today.
All right. Now, are you saying that by the reason of the Court of Appeal nullifying the actions of the trial courts on the ground of jurisdiction, are you saying that Amaewhule still remains, others still remain sacked?
I've said it severally. The law is very clear. The constitution is very clear. That if you leave a party,
we are talking about the judgment of the appeal.
The judgment of the appeal court did not send them back. The judgment simply said that the lower court has no jurisdiction to entertain the case.
All right. So
and that's the very simple thing.
What you're saying, in essence, is that
with or without a court judgment, the constitution, with or without a court judgment, the constitution is very clear on the subject matter. That if you move from a party to another,
is it self-executory?
It's self-executory.
So Nigerian constitution is self-executory.
That part of the constitution is self-executory. It doesn't. In fact, if you leave It is only you that have to go to court to say, no, I left because of this. It's you that have left. The Constitution is very clear on it. It doesn't even require a court to pronounce you non-member again. It doesn't. As soon as the Speaker pronounces you.
What are the procedures to the Speaker pronouncing you?
He doesn't require a procedure. You merely say, hold on.
Emmanuel, are you saying that there are no procedures?
Listen. We're National TV, and I want you to get this clearly. We're National TV, I want you to get this clearly. You coming before the House and telling the House that henceforth you are no longer a member of a party is enough.
Interesting.
It's enough.
Okay, so according to the Constitution, you're saying according to the Constitution,
that as soon as you so say.
Hold on. According to the Constitution,
yes.
According to your own interpretation, once a legislator in the House says that he has defected,
yes.
binding.
The Speaker will so pronounce, as soon as you pronounce it, the Speaker will effect it. And I've said this before in this studio. I said, what we found in the past, and that's part of the, I think the Rivers case is going to be a very interesting case at the end of the day to clear this issue of abandoning ships carelessly. In the past, what has happened has always been the fact that the Speakership or the House leadership has always been part of the movements. And so when they do that, they have a way of shielding themselves. We have the Cross River case. We have several other cases in the country. They shield themselves until the end. So they have a way of protecting themselves because that pronouncement is actually within the purview of the Speaker.
Okay.
Except when anybody takes them to court. And it takes all of that length of time.
All right.
But in the case of River State, the process was complete.
All right. So what you're saying ultimately is that the plenary being held by...
It's an illegal plenary.
It's an illegal plenary.
Something done by somebody who has sent them into a mushroom court.
Interesting. Okay, Barrister Sims, we'll still get back to some of the issues you have raised. Barrister Sims, what is your take on this matter?
Let me just laugh. You know, I didn't want to laugh on open television.
You have laughed
but I had to do that now. I didn't want to distract my very good friend here, you know, from his exploration, you know. And unfortunately, I vehemently disagree with every strand or atom or postulations he has put before this particular state right now and just now. Humbly, I would say that his submissions, to the best of my knowledge, you know, is not in order or are not in order. I could pardon him based on the fact that, you know, we have especially some people who should digest this, but he did his best. Now, coming to Periscope, what is at stake is number one, I have to start from the judgment of the Court of Appeal. Now, look at what happened. A certain Okojumbo, otherwise known as factional speaker, or one of the factional speakers of the Rivers State House of Assembly, on his own prompting, there was nobody that was, or put a gun to his head or put whatever to his head, ran to a court in Rivers State. The 27 lawmakers did not go to court. Like he said that they are supposed to go. They didn't go to court. They stayed and they were abiding by whatever climate they found themselves. He ran to court and said, hey, Mr. Court, or Mr. Judge, please make pronouncement that I am the substantive and legitimate speaker. That, number one, I am the substantive and legitimate speaker. The question I asked Okojumbo in the first instance is this: has anybody challenged you? The governor is supporting you. The people so-called you said that your supporters are supporting you. They even wanted to pull down the House of Assembly quarters. You followed them with the governor there. Nobody has threatened you or threatened the office. You now went to that court to say, declare me that I'm the speaker and the legitimate speaker. No problem. Number one. Number two, you went for that to say, I'm just trying to get about 6 grants on which you went to court. You come and say that the 27 lawmakers or whoever they are should stop parading themselves as lawmakers. So now I ask myself, how did this thing concern you? If so far as governor is giving you money, you even created a chamber where you can operate. Governor is even taking your whatever. You are the one signing a budget. You are the one profiling commissioners. You are the one doing everything. What else do you want the court to say? If the premature authority veilingly given to you by the governor is recognizing you, you are being funded. You are living larger than life. I saw pictures of him on Facebook or whatever. He looks so robust, in extravagant, candor and opulence. Very, very pathetic. And you still say they should do this. And I look at it, I say, what kind of a thing is this? He now went further to now ask for other grants of this, that resolutions or whatever passed by these people. You said they're illegal. Why are you worried by their whatever? So you went to that court. And as the case may be, the court in Rivers State here, they were not bought. They were so straightforward because it's only when they get judgment that is favoring them that justice are taking place. The judge, and on this studio, another forum, I have said that the so-called judge and court destroyed the subject matter at the stage of ex parte order. I've made that particular whatever here. The judge now, there was an interlocutory application, which is motion or notice that you are supposed to serve to these other people. He did not serve it. While waiting for that interlocutory application to be taken, you came with an ex parte order again on top of that, whatever, because you are abusing process of court. To now say that they should be stopped, they should not parade themselves, they should not even occupy the quarter, they should not do whatever. That same court you went to granted that ex parte order. And now said you should come the following week for the interlocutory order, which is a motion or notice served on other people. The people now said, no, this is an abuse of court procedure, because this same thing you taking care of by ex parte order is what the interlocutory application will still take care of next week. So what is the essence of you rushing here? I'm not putting it so that people understand. The court that granted, that is the first time in my life, that 1 year I practicing law, within 30 minutes, and about 6 p.m., an ex parte order was given and served around 8 p.m. in the night. No problem. The people now said, well, we no find your trouble, you can't touch our tail. Because before Okojomo went to court, there was semblance of relative peace in the polity. Why these people were doing whatever they were doing, people were saying, don't worry, we'll let the judgment come from Abuja. They didn't go to protest. They did not go and disrupt your proceedings in the sitting in the House of Assembly. Why did you go to court, Mr. Okojobo Speaker? Now the people exercising their rights. Now said, well, you don't open flank, now let us use it. They now went to court of appeal. And the appeal court ruled, if you go through that judgment, I have it, I can forward to you. It's a 92-page judgment. And the justices were so bitter and they were looking at it. And they said, oh God, why are you coming to meet us? These things that, I don't know where you are coming from. Anyway, no problem. Nobody disturbed you. Nobody harassed you. They didn't block your sitting in the government house. Why did you rush to that court? Anyway, let us tell you, this particular court has no jurisdiction. The court did not even raise issue of jurisdiction, even though the court can. It was in defense by the 27 lawmakers. Then I said, well, since Okojobo went to court, the court lacked jurisdiction. That was how the court of appeal had to tidy and decide issue of jurisdiction. And the court now said, in the first instance, based on the argument that you don't have jurisdiction. And when jurisdiction comes to a matter like that in the first instance for lawyers, the court must look at jurisdiction. Even if it is not raised, maybe I forget to raise jurisdiction. The court can on its own raise issue of jurisdiction to say, are you sure I have jurisdiction to handle this matter? So Court of Appeal now said, no, you don't have jurisdiction. We were wondering what kind of practice we do today as lawyers. If my colleague here comes to give me a case now to handle for him, three main things I'm going to first of all look at is number one, issue of jurisdiction. Where will I file his case? The two, I look at parties. I will look at parties. Then I'll now the third one will be the course of action. Why am I even going to this court? Assuming is it did Okojombo's lawyer not go through all this to find out? Now the court now said they lack jurisdiction. And in that particular they did now quote section 272, sub 3. That is very, very clear. He said, insofar as blah blah blah, in case of vacation of seats of the House of, it was mentioned the House of Assembly members, issues related to vacation, issue pertaining to removal of governor, etc. as case may be, amongst others, the Federal High Court has exclusive jurisdiction. It is stated here. And in law, when the Constitution, any statute says this television has exclusive jurisdiction, you cannot impute jurisdiction outside of it. That is what now happened. Then the other issue that came up, raised by the defense, said, Oga, we didn't disturb this Mr. Okojombo. Even this ex parte order that he got was that there was no urgency because he has been performing the duties of a speaker, even with a mace. So there was no need for this lower court to even restrain us again because we were not disturbing him. What we were asking now is that there was no real urgency in all this. That instead of the expected, whatever as case may be, you could have also taken interlocutory, assuming you have jurisdiction. Or you take the substantive matter. Abi Oga, Mr. George, you don't want to make this matter end. You don't want this matter to. This is a constitutional matter that you can even give judgment on within 2 days. Even no need to argue. You put judgment, you deliver judgment within 2 days. Is it issue of speakership or whatever? Even my little child, 18-year-old boy in school, he knows the position of the Constitution. He will say, no, no parties, please. No need for yesterday. Come on, address me. You address me. I'm ruling on this matter. No. Because there's not to speak grammar about. There's not to speak grammar. They are not bringing anybody to come and stand witness or stand witness here. It is what is in the affidavit that you use to give your judgment. Why are you shifting? We should blame some of these judges. I'm in that part. I'm in the judiciary. The second one is this. Why should a judge be in a hurry? Because that's what the Court of Appeal said. There was no real emergency. That it was a misuse of ex parte order because ex parte orders are supposed to be granted to do what? Protect the rest. And mostly perishable rest. For instance, you have goods who are tomatoes who are perishable and they need to put them in the freezer quickly. You can go and get an ex parte. Do not go and drop it. But do not on issues like this. Or somebody is building on your land. And you don't want it to erect so that legislation and questions do not hold you. They now say, please stop. That is what hospitals are meant for. But not for a man that has been performing his duty legally or otherwise. That is where the matter now came. So he shot himself on the foot. What the legitimacy that the people are saying they didn't have, the Court of Appeal now, by virtue of the case headed by Okojombo, now may pronounce that status quo and tableau should be maintained. What does that mean? I will go back to what I was doing before. He even helped the legislators to secure their seats. He even helped them to secure their quotas. As it stands now with this judgment, the governor or anybody at all cannot go and deroof or demolish that particular House of Assembly quarters. Before, the governor can go there and say they are illegitimate and whatever. So, they are hanging until that appeal comes from Supreme Court. So, Okojombo even helped them. Maybe some people working in tandem with them as a devil's advocate. He's here. So maybe he's doing this to help them. Maybe they had a meeting because they meet at night. They meet at night. We are arguing here, but they drink together, eat akara together. They even go to Mama Put. We have seen them. In Port Harcourt, at Tombia Road, they'll see they go and big flags they used to get Assembly members get. We have seen the way we met them in clubs. And somebody pointed and said, oh boy, not be the person that said they quarrel be this. I said, are you sure? We want snap and now they're wrong. So in the night they meet like witches. You understand? They meet and deliberate. So believe that they shout for TV. But in the real life, will not be parties will be. These time people stay in the same quarters. The day I will say, okay, Job, go and meet them and begin to throw blows, then I know that there's a problem. So what we have in River State is not the way outsiders take it. It is a political, matter that has to do with interest. This one get interest, this one get interest. Why are we killing ourselves over all this? That's the question I'm asking. Let the law take its course. They are enjoying it. So Ogojobo instigated this and he got what he didn't bargain for. The last thing on this matter is that this is not a monarchy. It's not theocracy that you say wherever father talk, if you go hide, begin to challenge them. Politics and federalism and constitutional democracy is that if you talk, I talk. If the governor talk, even me saying that I say, Governor, I will not insult you, but I say, Governor, you are not right. I'll go to court. I have the right to go to court 100 times. But here, when you go to court, they'll be looking for you to go and either assassinate or do you some things and begin to. Some supporters will begin to get, why is he challenging the governor? Are we running a monarchy? It's only the Oba Obini I cannot begin to. If I go to Ring Road and say, I'm talking to Oba Obini, some boys will follow me with cutlass and want to kill me. Because that's an absolute power. But it is a democracy. So why question this for going to court? Why question court giving orders? So these are just the little reasons I have on this particular plan. People don't understand. All right? You ask me on that question, let me answer.